there, welcome back to the channel with Deb Lund. So, we have had a break, stretched our legs.
Rub my nose because I'm in the park and my nose is itchy.
We are. So, guys, high intensity support. You said your colleague David went down the rabbit hole. So,
Yeah.
first, for people who have just Googled NDIS and we have popped up, what do NDIS mean when they say high intensity support?
Well, high intensity supports, I mean, a lot of that is around tracheotomies, looking after stomas, things like that. It generally means that the staff need additional training in order to perform their duties with that person. Now, they reintroduced behaviour support as high intensity. Now, I've recently had a company that quite openly said that they've gone through their books, checked who's got PBSPs, and they are now charging them high intensity. Now, the problem with that is, if their plan says standard funding, high intensity, it's an additional $7, around $7 an hour. But as you can imagine, $7 an hour adds up.
It does.
It just means that the plans either run out early or something else is pushed out of the way in order to have that work. Now,
so that might be community access, and that person might really need that as learning how to socialise.
That's right. And look, I am fully on board with you know, these service providers doing this. And there's rules around it. There has to be potential of harm to themselves or others. They have to have a PBSP. And they have to, there was another thing. I haven't got the paperwork with me. I'm so sorry. Should have brought it with me. But it is there. If you look through NDIS has got the announcement there for high intensity behaviour support coming back in.
Yep.
And it does explain. But if you go into the high intensity in the NDIS, they haven't updated it. It's 2022 stuff.
Ooh.
And apparently they're still working on it. And this is the thing. Okay, it's good to announce something and good to do something, and I'm fully on board with it. You know, for the reasons that they're saying, I'm fully on board.
Yeah.
However, if they haven't adjusted the plans, that doesn't help.
No.
So, and I'm waiting on a planner to ring back, and so I can discuss with them what criteria or what is needed, because the two particular people that I have on my books that are with this company do need it. There's no doubt about it. They do need it.
Yeah.
You know, they're one-to-one. They have those behaviours. Their level of intellectual disability is quite high. So they do have that aggressiveness and stuff that can happen. So I do agree that they have this funding. There's no doubt about it. However, I don't know whether that's transferred through to the staff. I hope it is.
Yeah.
And obviously the staff have training with a PBSP, like a positive behaviour support plan. There is training, when that is funded in a plan, it's under improved relationships.
Yeah.
And there is a certain number of hours for the development of the plan. And initially they do an interim, and then at 12 months they do a comprehensive plan. So, and that will include strategies. It can sometimes include pictures of blocking, things like that. So that, and Marbo is something that Marbo is training around managing those challenging behaviours. And those aggressive behaviours that can happen, and how you block. It's not about holding, it's about blocking, it's about getting out, it's about not getting yourself cornered, it's about being aware, always being aware. But we want to know, how do we get this high intensity? How do we go, what do we need to present to the NDIS to jump from standard funding to high intensity funding? Like, I know one of my other ones has got 6 hours a week of high intensity funding. Like, hello? Like, what? How does that work? Like,
And if you're needing someone where it has to be someone with nursing, a community nurse coming in, that's going to burn through that. So if the support workers aren't able to do stoma changes, tracheotomy, wound care, and I know support workers can't cut toenails.
Yeah.
Because it's a visual health check they can do because your feet for diabetes.
But then they're not, they're doing these stated things now.
Yeah.
With capacity building. They'll say, okay, you've got, 26 hours of OT, they're trying to push psychology out. Psychology, anyone that had psychology in their plan that's getting booted. They're going, oh, well, off you go and get a mental health plan. Mental health plan gives you 10 sessions for the year. That's it.
Have PBS and that, sometimes the psychology helps reduce behaviours because it's about identifying unmet needs. All behaviour is communication, but not all behaviour are acceptable.
No, and all behaviours aren't necessarily going to need a positive behaviour support plan.
Yeah.
So that's
Some
the
might
thing.
just be that you're over fatigued and tired and had too much sugar.
Yeah. But it's about the understanding of that, and and it's about, again, for support workers, training.
Yeah.
And support workers will go out and find their own training. If they're struggling with someone, they'll go out and find their own training.
Yes.
But it should, if they're private workers, if they're with a company, they should be taking it back to the company and going, hey, listen, we need some training in this area.
Yeah.
And it may not be that they need a positive behaviour support plan. There may not be any restrictive practices in place. So it's just those behaviour jumps that go up and down.
And it might be they need a safety plan. They might need something to do.
Yeah. And that's, and there's a lot of things that can happen that create different behaviours, absconding.
Yeah.
That's a possible risk of harm if they abscond and you don't know where they are, what they're doing. That can fall into a positive behaviour support plan, but if they haven't had the funding for that, it's not something they usually do.
Yeah.
And they start to do that kind of stuff, it's something to move. Yeah, that's right. What's going on? Is it a change of staff? Is it a change in, maybe they've been moved from one house to another? There can be so many different aspects to it. But it's, that high intensity, I agree for behaviours and for those things, but it is being defined to a degree. But then how do we get it across the line when we get to a play meeting? Because they're still pushing back. They're going, well, oh no, you don't have enough evidence. You don't have enough evidence. Even though you've got a comprehensive PBSP sitting in front of you, and we've had discussions about incident reports. We need a volume of incident reports to follow up and do this, but we also know that we've got support workers that are under the pump.
Yes.
They're not going to always, you don't have 15 minutes in your shift sometimes, or 20 minutes or half an hour, depending on how big your company's incident report is. And that can be another thing. I know one company has got a 17-page incident report, for goodness sake. Trim your paperwork. Do what you need to do. Don't overburden your support workers. Don't make it too hard for them to even manage it, because sometimes that's part of the behaviours, because they have to go off and do their paperwork. I would bring my paperwork out to the kitchen table, but if it's on computer and you're in the office, while you're doing that, what's happening with your participants?
Yeah.
I mean, we're so paper heavy, and I understand it's compliance and all this crap that they go on with, and it's the NDIS registered companies that are falling into this compliance, and we need to do this and we need to do that. And yes, I've been through an audit and we've done all that, and it'll take me 2 hours to get the paperwork done that I need to get done
Yeah.
just for compliance.
And you
and
have
then
an admin.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got, and it gets all signed off, and then where's it go? Like, you look at it next year.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is what's happening. And then we've got unregistered service providers, whether they be a simple support worker, a company that's unregistered, this kind of thing that's going on, that don't have to comply. All they need is an ABN number and a police check. Where you go. I mean, that's just rubbish. They're trying to tighten up on it. And look, it'll take 5 years before everybody's registered. And we'll see a lot of those drop out. But in the meantime, how many registered companies are going to drop away because of the constrictions and everything else that's going on?
Yeah.
With the profit margins so tight. And people don't realise, yes, it is tight because the support workers, they have their pay, then you've got your superannuation. So your superannuation's not accounted for in the wages. It's on top of. So, and that's a company cost.
And for our international listeners, that is the equivalent of a retirement plan. And in Australia, it is actually mandatory. As soon as you start working, even if it's 16-year-old at Macca's, KFC, which are our fast food joints.
Yep. As soon as you make over $450 a month, super.
Yes.
Gets paid. But when you get your wages, taxes in Australia, tax is taken out of your wages when you get paid, so you get your net. But the superannuation is actually a company cost or an employer cost on top of that.
Yeah.
So, superannuation can break a company.
Insurance is the other big one. Insurance. So personal
God.
indemnity insurance as well.
Insurance is a nightmare.
For an independent support worker, having a well-maintained car, because if you've got wheelchair clients who, mainly would be ambulance or users, but you need a well-maintained car as well. And if your car's your office,
I mean, they might be able to transfer. So you've got a wheelchair going in and out of your car. So there's different things that go on. It is, look, it's very complicated. It's not easy.
No.
And then you send invoices into the NDIS, and the integrity team goes, oh, that invoice is a little bit over. We might check that. And then it's like, and then the questions that they come back to you with is things like, we want to see your roster.
Yep.
We want to see, your case notes. We want to see your wages to make sure that we can match that person that was rostered for that day was actually paid for that day. And yes, I can understand why they're doing it, because this is where the money's going. We're having excess hours added to invoices. There's funny little things like this happening. That's why they're bringing in.
The technical term is sharp practices.
Sharp practices, yes, absolutely.
And so that being that a participant who may not have the informal support is told that, if you come with us, we'll
give you a TV.
Or we'll give, if you've got a smart TV, we'll give you a Netflix subscription in the house.
Yeah.
And they're cracking down on a lot of that.
There's been a bit of stuff going on. And I know that even, and surprisingly, even in town here, that there was a company, where they're still doing it, that were offering support coordinators a $5,000 bonus if they pass along a SIL participant that ended up in one of their SILs. Like, hello. What the hell?
Now, the other thing
ethics
is,
and morals of things are just Wild West.
yes,
it's a Wild West out there.
Tell me if this is a whole other episode. Is the whole thing of them pushing back, is this preparation for state government funded foundational supports? Because I know they're starting to roll that out of, you don't qualify for NDIS, but here, go contact this
community connections plan, which has got nothing in it, but it tells you that you can go off and find mainstream and community supports that aren't actually there yet.
Like they used to be there, but...
Yeah, but then they weren't funded, see?
Exactly.
And this is the thing, like, where are we finding these things? Like, are we, are they developing programs in the, in the community then to,
Yeah.
you know, and are they funding them? Are they supporting that? You know, so it's a big bag of, you know, like it'd be like holding a bag of tomcats. You know, really. I mean,
Sorry.
it's a big job. It's a really big job to do.
It is, it's huge, and as we say, we are grateful for it, like everything.
Absolutely.
We know that most of the Commonwealth has got equivalent programs, and that there's so many success stories out there,
Oh, absolutely.
but unfortunately, the things that make the news are what goes wrong.
Yes.
Um,
And that's, you know, and that's a
Can
sad
we
thing.
also congratulate, I do not know who they are, but can we congratulate the Chamber of Commerce Disability Business Award winners for this year as well?
Oh, for Toowoomba?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't go to that.
No, so I don't know who
Sorry.
you are, but congratulations. Like
Yeah.
our location actually celebrates the providers, even the independents who are doing the right things by clients.
Yeah.
And you can't actually self-nominate. You have to be nominated as well.
Yes, and that's good because, you know, otherwise you can imagine what would happen.
I know, and some of the categories I didn't even know existed, like micro business enterprises. And yeah, micro business enterprises, community connections, community engagement. I'm like, oh my god, these people are amazing in the work that they're doing, especially micro businesses. And some of the micro businesses are things I didn't even think of. Having wet bags for people who are aid users, if they have an accident in town, they've actually created a specialist wet bag that's got all the different compartments that if you need to roll into a disabled bathroom, your support worker community nurse can just grab it and go. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Now, guys, we will say goodbye and we will do a fun one.
Oh, I could do with some fun.
I know. So see you guys on the other side.
Okay.